We kind of wondered if there was going to be any changes on the Pixel 5a with 5G over the Pixel 4a 5G, especially when both devices share such tightly knit DNA. We're here though to examine the nuances, the differences, and help decipher what has changed and what hasn't. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. So from afar, it's kind of easy to snipe at the Pixel 5a and wonder why it even exists. Heck, even ahead of the launch, it was confusing, and the limited global availability in just the United States and Japan means it's probably a side note at best for the Pixel series. There's no denying that it does share practically all of the DNA of last year's Pixel 4a 5G, which kind of confuses matters a little bit further. And in many ways, there isn't much new here, but there is a little extra nuance to uncover if you were looking for a new Pixel phone. If you're coming from an older device, especially an older Pixel, the two that probably stand out most in the affordable range are bound to be this 5G powered duo we're comparing. In all honesty, no matter which device you do end up choosing, or if you are looking at them, we're sure that you'll get that Pixel experience that you're kind of craving. This is kind of everything you need to know though about the Pixel 5a with 5G and the Pixel 4a 5G to kind of help you make that right purchase decision. It's just a case of tweaks and tuning where the bulk of differences will be found between the Google Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5a, name notwithstanding obviously. In reality, those changes are skin deep at best. Almost all of the hardware is practically identical, save a little bit of tuning in certain specific areas. Realistically, the only major difference between the 4a 5G and the Pixel 5a with 5G are going to be to that external hardware. As we mentioned, all of the internals are literally the same, but the 5a with 5G does come with an improved chassis and finish, but even so, it does feel very familiar in your palm. If you want a colourful handset though, then unfortunately, you just have to choose between two shades of black. However, the Pixel 5a with 5G does come in, or does at least have some deep green tones and certain lighting that do make it slightly more attractive from afar. So while the external materials and that metal chassis marginally do favour the Pixel 5a with 5G, the unibody design is effectively the same on both handsets, or it definitely looks the same from far away. You do get the same haptics, which are great for an affordable smartphone, and good audio is guaranteed thanks to the combination of a 3.5mm headphone port and stereo audio courtesy of a downward firing tweeter and earpiece speaker. The only other notable is that the Pixel 5a with 5G is the first affordable Google phone to come with an IP certification, IP67 to be precise. So if you care about water resistance on your Google phone, then that's probably going to be the only one within a certain price point that you'll be looking at. If you're hoping for new software additions, then we're sorry to be the bearers of bad news, but everything is practically the exact same on the Pixel 5a and the Pixel 4a 5G, and indeed the Pixel 5 for that matter. It's the same build of Android 11 that ships with both devices pre-installed as standard too. As such, both handsets will be eligible for OS upgrades up to and including Android 14. That's because the Pixel 5a does not technically ship with Android 12 installed, it is running Android 11. Beyond this release, you will get monthly security patches until that end of life phase, whenever that may be. Your core daily experience is practically the same on both the 4a 5G and the 5a itself, thanks to the same Snapdragon 765G and 6GB of RAM at the heart of both handsets. Now the battery is one area where there is quite a substantial change, as the Pixel 5a with 5G is the biggest ever on a made by Google phone to date, and it practically dwarfs that of the Pixel 4a 5G. And while 2020's affordable Pixel is still capable of providing an all-day lifespan, the Pixel 5a with 5G is capable of multiple days of light or even moderate usage. If you care about longevity, there is one clear winner here, but the big jump is something that you'll have to work out whether it's worth it for you. Disappointingly though, only wired charging is available on both smartphones, with the charging speeds via USB-C still capped at 18 watts, which is disappointing given that most other smartphones of a similar price point have faster charging enabled. And naturally, given the expansion of that Pixel 5a with 5G battery, it is pretty slow for a 2021 smartphone, but it may help prevent battery fatigue or wear the longer you do own your device. Like last year, the cameras on the Pixel 4a 5G and the 5a are literally identical from front to back. This even includes all of the software tweaks and new camera modes, that are included in the software. This will undoubtedly take the stress out of choosing between the two devices when you know that no focal length or feature is left behind, and that's a big bonus to say the least. There is one thing to note here though: these spectral and flicker sensors have been removed from the Pixel 5a with 5G. These sensors themselves just help improve shooting when there is a pulsing light source, such as under fluorescent or LED lighting. That said, the Pixel 4a does naturally lack this sensor, and images on that device are practically fine. As with all 2020 models, Google has removed AR Playground camera features here yet again, so that means if you want 3D animals and whatnot, you will have to look elsewhere. Camera results are basically indistinguishable from one another side by side, which means that the camera is not really a reason to even consider upgrading from last year's affordable 4a 5G to the 5a. So realistically, it all boils down to two things: the hardware and the finish, and the battery life. And in much the same way, the changes are similar between the Pixel 5 and the 4a 5G. The 4a 5G and Pixel 5 do share around 99% of the same DNA. If you already have the Pixel 4a 5G, then there's probably going to have to work out for yourself if larger battery and IP rating are important to you. Sure, the screen is ever so slightly larger, but not in any noticeable metric, and the finish does, in the hand at least, feel almost identical, despite having a little bit more in common with the Pixel 5. Everywhere else, these phones remain exactly the same, which means that although limited global availability is a little bit annoying, it's not necessarily a major problem as it would be with other devices, for instance. We will say though, given the $50 price reduction, if you were looking at the $499 Pixel 4a 5G in recent months, the 5a is kind of a no-brainer and has one or two minor changes that are very welcome, even with the price reduction slapped on top. Like we said in our comparison of the Pixel 5a and the Pixel 5, you might want to hold out though a little longer to see what the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro do bring to the table. Don't expect pricing to come down on the 5a though, we think that's locked in at $449, but you might have a better idea of which 2021 Pixel series device is right for you when they're all available. So that just about covers everything we think you'll kind of want to know or consider before thinking about picking up the newly released Pixel 5a with 5G if it's available in your region, or even last year's Pixel 4a 5G, provided you can score it at a discount. If you do have any questions though, or any questions that you'd like answered, be sure to let us know down in the comments sections below. But until next time, this is Damien with 9to5Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.